We're going to be talking to Lida about her journey from startup to doing over $10,000 a month in commission as a freight agent last month. So why don't we dive into the interview? Why don't we talk for a few minutes here? Because Lida, I've really been super excited. We talked about this a couple of days ago. I asked you to come on the show. You agreed. And so give the audience a quick introduction. Just tell them a little bit about you, where you're from, and why you decided to get started in this whole freight industry. What brought you into this?
Okay, hello guys. So I moved to USA 5.5 years ago. Then we opened our carrier company, and I did everything like dispatching, IFTA, hiring, safety and compliance, everything. And that's how I got this experience. And I decided, to become a freight broker, and I opened my company, but I was not very, successful as an freight broker. So I decided to become an agent.
All right, great. So let's tell, first of all, that's a great way to enter the business. I love when people come from the trucking side of the business, because who better than a truck driver to know what it takes to actually pick a load up on time, deliver it on time with no issues, right? I think it's an interesting perspective. That wasn't my background, but I always find it interesting when people come from the driver or the carrier side. So you decided to open the brokerage. You opened the brokerage, but you got real busy. And for some reason, you never really were able to get a lot of traction with your own brokerage. So you decided to become an agent for another brokerage. Tell us why you decided to become an agent first.
Yeah. So I was like very hesitate to do that, because I already paid the surety bond. I have my brokerage. I have everything ready, but I already had a customer. But it was hard to move these lots. One for credit score, I didn't have it, even though I already know how to build it. But also the financing part, I didn't want to go do factoring. I know that some people do it, but I didn't want to do it, because as a carrier, I used factoring company, and I said, no, I would never use factoring company. So then someone, this my recruiter in Freight Tech, he messaged me. We had, some talk, and he pushed me, to become an agent, and I don't regret it, because I was very hesitant, to do it. I was thinking, no, I already opened my company. I don't want to go become an agent, but I think it was the best decision I made.
Yeah. So understand one thing, audience, everybody who's listening right now, Lida has her own freight brokerage still to this day. She has her authority. She has her bond. She has everything she needs to be a broker. Okay. But what she realized is that it was a little overwhelming to take on all of that responsibility, plus everything she's doing on the carrier side. So she decided to start as an agent. I think she joined Freight Tech, right?
Yes.
So she joined Freight Tech, which is in this long established company. They've been around for a long time. I mean, 10, 20 years at least. I know that I recognize them from when I first started my business. So they've been around for a long time. She became an agent, which allowed her to take a lot of those responsibilities off her plate. She didn't have to worry about invoicing. She didn't have to worry about paying carriers. She didn't have to worry about compliance. She didn't have to worry about figuring out what software she was going to use. She didn't have to worry about any of that. She let the broker worry about that. She became an agent. She focused on getting and supporting her customers.
Yes.
And so tell us, you just started as an agent when?
Yes, I started June.
She started in June. Now, this is June of 2021, guys. This is just a couple of months ago.
Yes, 2 months ago.
2 months ago, she started as a freight agent after kind of delaying because she wasn't sure. She'd had her broker authority, but she wasn't quite ready to take that leap. She became an agent, and 2 months later, she made over $10,000 in commission. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, in July, tell us the numbers. I think you shared them in our private Facebook group.
Yes,
what were the gross and commission numbers?
I think it is even now more, but a few days ago, I did 34 shipments, 16,455, and my commission would be $10,695.
$10,695. Okay, so let me ask you something, Lida. Have you ever made $10,000 yourself in a month ever in your life?
No, my goal was to make 5,000, but I hit twice more. So now my goal is 50,000. Maybe I will do twice more again.
It's amazing how when you hit those goals, all of a sudden they elevate, right? You wanted to
Yes.
make 5 and then you made 10, and now you want to make 10, and now you made 10, now you want to make 50. I know how that goes. Trust me. I
Yes,
remember my
yes.
first million. We did $1 million our first year, then we did 3 million, then we did 6 million. And my team and the people around me just kept on looking at me like I was crazy. They're like, this guy's nuts. He just keeps on pushing it. But I love the fact that you have aggressive goals. But more importantly, what I love is that you actually got out of your comfort zone. You took action, and then you went out and you not only did you take action, but you made it happen. So let's talk a little bit about getting your first shippers, right? I know you specialize in a niche. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? What's your niche?
Yeah, so as of right now, my niche is flatbed. So, and I remember like you would say, find your niche, find your niche. I would say, what he's saying, like, I can't find my niche because I am a reefer driver. I have driven. I never did flatbed. So, but I always was interested on flatbed and oversized. I don't know why, because I have a friend who is doing it, but it was hard to find. But I think you just try, and if it is working, then it is your niche. If you are still struggling to find your niche, because I wasn't, even now I have a reefer customer. He sent it like today. He sent me 5 lots, but I was never able to do it because I am scared to do these reefer lots because I am thinking, what if it gets damaged? What it has shortage? And because I have reefer and I know it is like a lot of headache. So I think I will go for flatbed as of right now.
Well, listen,
yeah.
It's obviously working. You made $10,000 in
Yes,
commission
it
your
is
second
working.
month as the agent. So there's this old adage, right? If it's
And
not
I did
broke,
2 oversized lots already.
oh yeah, that's
Yes.
amazing. If
Yes.
there's this old adage, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So my
Yes.
suggestion to you is do the old wash, rinse, repeat. Just keep doing what you're doing with those customers, keep those existing customers, and then find more customers just like them that you can support
Yes.
the same way. And the next thing you know, you're going to be doing 20,000 a month in commission and 30,000 a month. And let me tell you a really quick story. Some of you may have heard this, but I don't know, it was a while back. But an agent of mine, when I had my brokerage, called me up I think it was in January after the beginning of a new year. And he called me up and he thanked me. I didn't even know this had happened, but he had made over $100,000 in commission in 1 month.
Wow.
As an agent. Now, that wasn't an every month thing, right? But he did really well. He'd make 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a month as an agent, but he made over $100,000 in commission in 1 month as an agent. And that was the first time anybody in the company had ever made $100,000 in commission. Now, we had lots of agents, but it was really amazing. So I always love to tell that story. Now, I can't guarantee that you're going to make 100,000. I can't guarantee you're going to make $100. Here's what I can guarantee you. If you don't take action like Lida, find somebody to get trained, take the steps to get your broker authority, learn how to sell, ultimately find a freight broker that you can work under and do that, and take action and actually follow through, I guarantee you're going to make zero, right? That's why I started Freight Broker Bootcamp, right? Freight Broker Bootcamp is the online training program, freight broker and freight agent training program I've had for over a decade, trained over 8,000 students. I need to update that. I need to run a query and find out how many. It's probably closer to 10,000 by now, but over 8,000 students have went through the training. Many of them, like Lida, have went on to earn 6-figure, 7-figure, or more incomes. You've heard some of the other interviews. So Lida, tell us this. How did you get, you found your niche, which was flatbed, and you got a little traction. You found a shipper. You started moving your first loads. Mm-hmm. How did you get your first shippers? I mean, how did that work? Tell us a little bit about it. Was it cold calling? What did you do?
Oh boy, I have my own technique. You don't
yes.
teach that. So I found my old customers. Let me tell you this. Because I bought this course from you, LinkedIn, that find customer without cold calling. I said, yes, that's for me, because I get bored with this cold call. I still do sometimes. I am okay to do, but I just get discouraged when they don't answer and whatever. I get headache, honestly. So I started LinkedIn. LinkedIn is my favorite. So I found these shipping managers, traffic managers that you teach, and I started to message them, but I didn't even ask for business. Honestly, I never asked business. I just sent random traveling picture. Hey, Brian, how are you? I my weekend was great. I was in Florida, and I am sending some Florida pictures, but real. And then next week, he's not answering. Next week, I'm sending like some other picture from Georgia. Next week, from other picture from I don't know where. And the fourth week, he's asking, okay, Lida, but he never answered me. Okay, Lida, what services are you providing? I'm saying, okay, I am a freight broker. And he's saying, okay, send me your information and, we can work together. Three of my customers I found this way. And fourth one, he just found me in LinkedIn. But I honestly like direct message, like, I don't know, 10,000 times. But four of them, they answered. So it's
so listen,
like, if I knew that they will answer, I will only email them or message them. But yeah.
So listen, guys. So here's what happened. Lida joined the Freight Broker Bootcamp, which is the introductory course to help you get started. But then she enrolled in what's called my No Cold Calling for Freight Broker system, which is my LinkedIn and social selling system.
Yes,
Some of you that are listening may have joined that program in the past. Some of you that just were a part of the Freight Broker Sales Accelerator, I included that as an actual bonus. So that program teaches my LinkedIn marketing and sales system that allows you, without having to make hundreds of cold calls a day, to go in and do outreach through social media, particularly LinkedIn. And that's how Lida got her customers. So, it's coming from her. This isn't from me, right? If I tell you, you guys, it's one of those things where you're like, well, it's you, Dennis. Of course you did it. But this is coming from Lida, this is her second month as an agent, right?
Yes. And I even wanted to refund. You remember?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Funny story. Tell them the story.
I said, no, this is not working. I just want to refund why I spent so much money, because in nature, I just want to save. If I can find something for free, I will do it for free.
Yes.
Then Dennis, he was, tough on me, but I am glad he was. And I said, okay, this guy, he made me to spend this much money, and I will return this money. So
yeah. So the course, just so you know, she invested $1,000 in the No Cold Calling course. Okay.
Yes.
And then she reached out to me and she was concerned. She's like, well, I don't think this is going to work, but she hadn't really fully completed all the training. She hadn't actually really tried to put it to work yet. Yes. So I said, listen, Lida, finish the training, do what I tell you, put the system to work. I promise it's going to work. If it doesn't work after that, let me know and I'll refund the money. Not long later, she actually finished it. She went out, she reached out to some customers. And the next thing she knows, she messaged me and said, Dennis, I got my first customer. And she was all excited. So I doubt right now that she's upset about investing $1,000, because that has turned into, multiple customers, and those customers, the lifetime value of those customers is going to be huge. I mean, she did 10,000 in commission last month alone. So I'm super proud of you. Man, it's so many levels. I'm proud of you because you took action and you broke through barriers so many different times, because there's obstacles along the way.
Oh yeah,
there's so many obstacles, and this is where everybody falls down, and they just don't get up that one more time. And every time you ran into an obstacle, you just, of course it was difficult and it's challenging, and sometimes it's depressing, and sometimes it's like you see all these other people having success and you're not, and why is it not working for me?
Yeah.
But she never gave up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It was not only this customer, but he gave me 15 lots. So I moved these lots and I had another customer. So
you had another customer as well.
Not from the same customer, because I think it is also important to have many customers, because some of them, they are slow, some days they are good. So one customer is not enough. I need to get more customers.
Absolutely. No question. Yeah. You have to diversify your revenue. It's a huge mistake. You do not want to be beholden to just one or two customers. So my suggestion to all brokers and all agents, even if you're going to have a small business, is to have at least 10 or 20 active shippers. Some of them are only going to give you one load a week. Some of them are going to give you one load a day, but ultimately you can kind of blend that out. And what happens is when one customer is slow, at least you're not going to, at least you're going to have money to pay your mortgage payments and all your bills and all that, because sometimes shippers get slow. There's some seasonality to it. Sometimes, who knows? I mean, you might have a shipper that you've been doing great business with, and then something happens. That person gets sick, or they get fired, or they move into another job, and all of a sudden your shipments might be disrupted for weeks or months or permanently, right? I mean, that happens. I mean, I remember I had an agent who his first year, he did over $1 million with one shipper. And every month I would tell him, you got to diversify. You got to diversify. You got to diversify. He goes, oh, I don't have time. I'm so busy with my shipper. I'm like, listen, you have to make time. And a year later, he lost that shipper, and it took him 6 full months to get it back. And he almost went bankrupt in the meantime. So that diversification is really important. So I'm glad to hear that you're focused on that. If you get to the point where you're too busy to prospect, then you need to take some steps to hire somebody to help you, to either help you do the prospecting or to help you do the dispatch and the operations and those sorts of things, so that you can continue to grow, because you do have to diversify that customer base.
That's what I am doing now. Yeah.
No, I love it. I love it. Well, you're just getting started, so I'm super excited for you. Let me ask you this. Is there anything else you want to share with the audience? Maybe some tips or something you learned along the way? I mean, the insight that you've shared has been very inspiring, and I think a lot of people have been helped by this. Is there anything else you want to share? And then we'll wrap it up.
I think, I don't know. It depends also on personality. But for me, because I already spent all this money on training and surety bond, I just said, no, I will never give up. I need to bring this money back. So that was one of my inspirations, Also, just don't go and open these brokerages. There are tons of brokerages. Maybe just start as an agent. Another thing, with this, you remember you were always telling that, yes, big companies, they will not hire you, but just go and find these customers with Freight Tech. I did a lot of interviews, even with your previous company, with Logistics Dynamics. They did interview. I did interview with Allen Land. I did interview with different other Challenger. I don't even remember, but 5, 6 freight brokerages. But some of them, they wanted to have this report. But if you already find these customers, even if you don't have reports, I think someone will hire you. Just show them, say, hey, I have these customers, and get, started as an agent. That's what I would suggest.
I love that. And because a lot of people stop the whole, let the freight broker bond and all that sort of stuff, applying for your authority, they let that slow them down. And I tell everybody this, and I probably told you this: if you can't make money as a freight agent, you're definitely not going to make money as a freight broker, because being a freight agent is significantly easier. Now, of course, you're going to make a little bit less on the commission, but you also have a lot less risk, and you have a lot less startup cost. I mean, and you can always later, if you choose, once you have your customer base and you've got some money to invest in the business, you can always become a broker later if you choose, right? So Lida, she interviewed with some of the companies that are hiring for agents. Some of them didn't hire her. One company took a chance on her, and guess what? Look at now, second month in the business, they're profitable. She's profitable, and they could have a long-term relationship. And she may never, ever decide to become a freight broker. She may ultimately just stay as an agent, but she always has that opportunity to become a freight broker later if she chooses. Now, it would there'd be a lot more responsibility, but ultimately that may be the path that she chooses, but she doesn't need to make that decision right now, which is what's so awesome. So if you are letting the whole freight broker bond and the application and your credit and those things hold you back, right? Or hold you back from investing that big chunk of money, don't let it. Become an agent to start, and then you can always go from there. So, well, listen, Lida, I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate you sharing your insight. Listen, for those of you that are curious about becoming a freight broker or a freight agent like Lida, check out freightbrokerbootcamp.com. Been in business over a decade, trained over 8,000 students. We're well known to be the most cost-effective and comprehensive online freight broker training program. Lida is a testament to that, as well as her determination, hard will, and unwillingness to give up. Check out Freight Broker Bootcamp. Truly appreciate it.